A single word can fire a bullet. So I'm pleased to meet all of you who came to study HLA. I am Wemby, my Mongolian name is Mönchsaruул. I'm glad to start my speech. To begin with, I want you to ponder upon yourself that why did you choose to study English at HLA? As a student who is planning to study psychology, learning English is one of the necessary skills to be able to understand people better. The people always talk about their beliefs. The most dangerous people are those in power but are dumb. These people are called hypocrites. For instance, this could be our very own parents. They have lived in a different time and think nothing has changed, but it's a whole different era. The kids' emotions are being suppressed by a hostile environment inside their houses. For example, the phrase, boys don't cry. If boys can cry, how will they be able to express what's inside of them? Not even parents, there are also their friends who are telling them to not to cry because it's a sign of weakness. This is the main reason why men are more common to take their own lives. There is a statistic that mentioned men underline themselves 3 times greater in comparison to women. The society or us people demands men to act like a robot. According to Rochelle Goodrich, if life is a stage and you're your own agent, don't hesitate to play character you wish to play. So be true to yourselves, don't be phony just to be appreciated by others. Moreover, we men are prisoners of our own culture. The feministic movement has stained and developed true sense of man. To continue, they're promoting the idea of existential crisis. What is existential crisis? It's like not knowing who you are. Our society is confusing. Some of the times feminism takes over the place, but the rest of the time men defend their feelings. I have one tiny example. If men have to take a treat for dates, foods, even wedding ring, what are men getting in return? Caused by these kind of scenarios, the transgender surgeries are tenfold in comparison to the 1900s. There are sorts of people who are masking their griefs by becoming someone new. It's like you are reborn, but it never changes who you really are. Nobody's wired wrong because there is no right or wrong in the way we are. Therefore, getting away from responsibilities never makes you a better person. Now let's talk about conflict in us. Even though we have this much dilemmas, we never try to face it. Great opportunities comes with impossible situations. This is the purpose of psychology. This is what helps us to understand and appreciate ourselves. Why do we hide our emotions? Why don't we express all of them? Is it because of ego, pride, or arrogance? Let's have an example. Someone who doesn't accept losing will never ever go to attend therapist because they think highly of themselves. That's arrogance. The weakest individual is not the person who cries, but the person who is afraid to face their weakness. Therefore, your biggest enemy is your own self. You're making war against the others. A single word from the madman can destroy the world. One of the epitomes is Adolf Hitler. He was a survivor of World War I and he got imprisoned. Even though he was in prison, he was still in contact with some of the revolutionists during his time. And the rest is history. Hitler changed the system just by his voice. His survivor to the later path was one kind of greatness. Despite of having such a high IQ, he was also controlled by his ego. He had attacked Russia and after 6 years of Cold War, he got defeated. He ruled absolutely until his death by suicide in April 1945. Did he commit suicide because he was shamed by his defeat, or did he realize his guilt after killing 6 million Jews? Your perspective will decide. The crimes you have committed will come biting you back when you least expect it. Hitler pledged to restore prosperity, create civil order, eliminate the influence of Jewish financiers, and make fatherland once again world power. How was he able to do all of that just by himself? For the record, he was a narrator who is an effective speaker. See, through the words, he brought the world to its knees. His dream came true. He ruled the world momentarily, but it wasn't permanent. Not to stand on his side, but imagine you have lost your family and survived one of the coldest wars at a very young age, and he was also suffering from the society. This is what we call trauma. Trauma has never affected someone to be better. Trauma is your daily nightmare in few words. If you have seen a movie called Inside Out, those kind of memories will be saved on the best memories of your life, discussed as happy ones. One of the other purposes of psychology is to cure clients' trauma. If there were therapists back then in the 1920s, the world wouldn't have lost its 70 million of population. Therefore, word is a powerful weapon to either start or stop the war. The relationship you have with yourself is one complicated one, because there is no option to walk away. So you gotta find a way to forgive yourself through any mistake, improve yourself through any flaw, love yourself despite your history, because no matter how ashamed, embarrassed, unhappy you are, the person looking back at you in the mirror will not change. A single word can fire a bullet.